All right, guys, I got all this scrap wire pulled out the bed of the truck. Got the old generator loaded up, one of the many extension cords, straps, snatch blocks, D-rings, all that good stuff. We're going to be going pull a front axle off of an F-250 frame, and we're going to be slapping it underneath the LML. Obviously, this is not going to happen immediately, but the most important thing is getting a donor axle, and I'm going to start buying the parts that are available to purchase and kind of prepping out the layout and all that good stuff. So anyways, I figured that I'd make a video and kind of tag along on the beginning stages of all that. All right, so we are on our way to my buddy's property. I got another friend that has a trailer over there, so we're going to be picking this trailer up. I think it needs new deck boards and rewired and all kind of crap. But anyways, I figured while there's a trailer there, it'd be a good time to just go ahead and pull that axle up on the trailer, and I'll kill two birds with one stone. So I'm not really sure what I'm up against. I've got a 3.5 ton floor jack and a small one, and a couple blocks of wood and a few jack stands and as many bigger sockets as I could fit in a tool bag and electric impact. So I guess we're going to try to make the best out of what we have, and I'm hoping that'll be enough to get it out of there. I'm not sure how much the axle weighs, but I would guess upwards of, I don't know, 500 pounds. So I brought a few straps and all that, as you saw in the first part of the video. So we're probably about a couple minutes out. So my goal is to put that axle under here. I was going to do coilovers, and not that it costs a whole lot more to do coilovers. I would say maybe another $2,500, $3,000, depending on what brand coilovers you go with. But my 1-ton work truck is a Ford, and honestly, it rides great. And I have a set of springs that are sitting under this frame, so I figured I may as well just use those. I mean, I know they'll ride good. They're it's a 6-inch lift on it, and I forget what brand it is, but I'm gonna give them a try. If I don't like it, then I'll always, I can always switch to coilovers. But I mean, hey, if I can throw these springs on and it rides pretty good, and I save myself $3,000, I mean, that $3,000 can be invested elsewhere on the truck, is kind of how I look at it. I've got a pretty nasty dent in my front bumper, and I wouldn't mind getting a ranch hand color matched. So that $3,000 can be moved in other places. So I don't know. Everything's kind of in the air. Biggest thing is getting this axle home, making sure there's no water in it. If there is, addressing that, and maybe kind of start taking a look at whether or not I'm going to switch to a 48 tooth tone ring to match the GM ABS tone rings, or if I want to just throw a 250 F-250 rear end underneath the truck, where I'm running Ford axles, and then both tone rings are 60, and the tone ring count doesn't matter as long as all four are the same, whether it's 60 or 48, they just all need to be matching. Because I can also get a spindle kit that has the 48 tooth tone rings, and what I can't verify is that they are 8 on 180 bolt pattern. So the Fords are 8 on 170, Chevys are 8 on 180. I know there's an option out there. I believe you can buy the bearing hubs that are drilled for 8 on 180. So there's a little bit of gray area as to which direction I need to go. I know that the free spin kit with the 48 tooth tone rings, I want to say each hub is about $2,600. So not the cheapest option, but like I said, we'll visit all that once we verify that the axle's in decent enough shape. It should be. So got these guys loosened up on both sides, pulled out these bolts here. There's 3 on the frame. Pulled the shock absorbers out, so I've got this stuff basically ready to pull out, and I'm gonna go ahead and just start undoing everything on the front, which is gonna be a little sketchy. I do have some jack stands on a fender. Not sure how well that's going to support the weight, so I'm going to try to undo as much stuff as I can, and ideally it doesn't fall over on us, and if it does, we'll just hook a tow rope to it and yank it out. Now, to combat the wheel steering on us, and we can pull it up on the trailer. There's not a whole lot of places to hook like I remember, and I may be thinking of a different axle where I was able to hook a hook here and then ratchet from here somewhere's in the center of the axle, and the same on the other side to keep it centered, so we'll figure something out. So here's what we got going on. I ran the strap around this mount here, hooked them both to the tie rod. I put this vice grip on here to keep the straps from slipping off, and that should at least kind of sort of hold our wheels straight so we don't stray off a course. We'll see how this works. Just gotta get this frame back on the ground. See what we can do with that. Oh, it's nice not listening to that surging generator anymore. Crazy. As much stuff as I have and work on, one thing I don't do is clean the carburetor on my generator. That'll be the next project, I guess. All right. Let's see. How can we set this down and still get our jack out when we're done? That's the $1,000,000 question. Maybe they have something out here we can set underneath the frame. Not looking good for things to set under the frame. This vac pump bracket, and I think maybe better set it like that. This cross member will sit on that and we'll be good. Maybe. Let's see. I'm thinking, boy, this is a mess here. The only way this could be worse is if this was all cat shit instead of mud. Flatten that fender out. Alright. This doesn't seem like a strong lifting point, so we'll go ahead and lift from it. Might work, but I gotta be a little further in. Which is gonna be a challenge. Let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge. I wish I had another fender. That would be sweet. Put that behind this one. One out. Let's see what happens. It wasn't as exhilarating as I thought. Alright. Try from here. Up. Hey. Here we go. Alright. Tools, just in case it decides to fall over. And I guess we'll improvise as we go down with the new jack stand. There you go. Okay. This center is like that. Well. Alright, awesome. That plan worked out exactly as I wanted it to. Alright, well, I got the trailer out. Got the axle loaded up. Piece of exhaust. I think it's 5-inch. Do one final. Make sure everything's strapped down good with some really old straps. Gotta found a bit of a truck. This one's fairly new. Alright. See if we can make it home with this thing. Well, I made it home in one piece, thankfully. Didn't lose an axle, didn't lose an exhaust, and more importantly, didn't lose a trailer or any boards off the trailer or axles. All right, we got this beast unloaded off the trailer. So I kind of want to hone in on some things I spoke about earlier in the video. And I did a little bit of research last night and kind of went over some notes that I jotted down from a few years ago. This has kind of been in the works for a long time. I just didn't have a donor axle handy. So looking over some old stuff and doing a little reading. My best bet is going to be to switch over to a machined Timken bearing that WFO Concept sells, and it's drilled to 8-on-180, so I can run my factory 20-inch 2016 wheels that I really like on this axle and not have to run any kind of adapter. I don't really trust adapters and spacers too much, but I'm probably going to have to learn to deal with it because from what I recall, this front axle is a fair amount wider than the rear GM axles. So I'm gonna have to do something in the rear to kick those rear wheels out. So if anybody knows of a reputable spacer that has torque specs and all that good stuff, that would be awesome if you could leave that in the comments, because it's something that I'm gonna need at some point in time. Because I know that difference is gonna bother me if the front sticks out a good bit. Even on the IFS trucks with the 6-inch FabTech lifts, it's annoying being behind them and just seeing that. So yeah, other than that, I am gonna just switch to the 62 tone ring on the rear axle. That's something else that WFO Concept sells, but I did notice they were out of stock, so hopefully it's just because they're waiting on getting some from whoever supplies that to them, or they're waiting on materials to be able to machine more. So as soon as that's available, I'm gonna pick a set up. That way I have them. Then I'm gonna get the upper coil spring tower from them and the frame plates. And something I'm trying to decide here. So I'm gonna get their cross member because I don't think I can utilize any of the frame drop brackets for these radius arms. I'm pretty sure I can anyways. So what I was thinking about, and maybe I'm crazy, well I know I'm crazy, but maybe figure out an overall length of the radius arms that WFO sells. These may be too short, I'm not sure. It's very hard to tell in pictures how long they are. I mean, hell, they might be that long for all I know. And I might be able to call them. They may give me that information, they may not. But what I was thinking is hacking this off and then just getting a weld on bone and welding it here, and then getting the 2 5/8 time joints for the 2 lowers and the 2 uppers technically. In their kit, these just have a bracket that's welded onto here, and they have the adjustable heims, and you can get your axle set correctly. So I would say that this definitely needs to be adjustable for the application, considering that it's not like a bolt-on lift kit from Ford axle to a Ford truck and all that good stuff. So something I noticed that's not on their website anymore is they used to sell just the panhard bar for their SAS kit, and I can't find it on it anymore, so I may just have to bend a new one to fit on the truck if I can't find it. Still throwing around buying the kit, but it would be really cool to be able to just build everything myself. It might be worth just buying the kit. Probably costs less, but anyways, you know, when you have the tools and the time and the material, it doesn't hurt to just do it yourself. So other than that, I think I'm gonna pick up the steering box brace kit. I should probably have that on the truck anyways. It's probably good to have anything bigger than 35s, because that's a little bit of additional stress on the steering box and the frame and all that. So that will probably get picked up and installed pretty quickly. So other than the drill bearing hubs, they also sell a set of brake rotors that are drilled for 8-on-170, 8-on-6.5, and 8 on 180. So I'll get those, get 2 new calipers for this, new pads, new U-joints, and probably just go ahead and re-gear this to 411s while I have it all pulled apart. Because I'm kind of thinking the 37s may look a little small with a 6-inch lift. And I'll be honest, I'm not necessarily interested in having the truck that much higher. Considering that this, I should be able to achieve getting it to be 1.5 inches or so more forward. I could probably maybe go with a stock spring off of a Ford and keep the truck sitting at the level it is, but still be able to run my 37s. With the 6-inch, I know that 38s would probably look better. But either way, I'd still like to gear for 411s, not 4 411s, but 2 of them. Because it's kind of noticeable having 37s and the 355s pulling something heavy. So, but yeah, other than that, maybe this will get done this year. I'm not sure. It'd be cool, but we'll see how busy I am with work and all these other projects. I still got some serious stuff to do on the trooper, swapping the transmission and doing that upgraded injection pump and redoing drive shafts and cross members and all that good stuff. So although this is something that has been on my list of things that I've wanted to do for a long time, the biggest thing was me getting this. Buying parts and fabricating things is not a big deal, but getting a donor axle, that's the big deal for me. Getting it here, that's the big deal for me. You know, anything can be done with a tape measure, plumb boss, a welder, a grinder, and a torch. So for me, that's the easy part. So yeah, just stay tuned for more of this, but I'm sure there'll be some videos of me doing all kind of random stuff because every week I'm getting my hands greasy on something different. So yeah, thanks for watching.